Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Coach Barb here. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for all that have subscribed, and please share this. I think I have some information that could help a lot of people out there, not just women, not just middle-aged women like me, but I want to talk to you about autoimmune disease and what program has done for me. Going back, when I was 28 years old, I had my first child. Directly after having a baby, I wanted to lose some weight. And I went on this thing called LA weight loss. It was a big thing back then, but it was packed full of these fat burners and weird supplements that you had to take. I lost a lot of weight. I actually became very thin. That was probably one of my thinnest points of my life. And I thought I was doing well. Then all of a sudden I started not feeling well. I started getting like swelling, joint pain, brain fog, just shakes, unable to sleep, pacing the floors at night. I stopped that program. And for the next probably 7-8 years, doctors couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. Well, I'm not completely contributing what I did to lose weight at that time to my issues, because I did have an underlying autoimmune issue. I had thyroid disease, Hashimoto's thyroiditis. And there are so many people in the world that have autoimmune issues. We don't really know where it comes from, but essentially your body's attacking itself. Now with me, it was my thyroid. No matter what we did, the doctors couldn't get me regulated. And it was a really dark time in my life. I had constant chest pain, always thinking I was having a heart attack, palpitations, shakes, pain, just head to toe pain. I was a nurse. I was banging out 10-hour days. And I used to drive from Orange County, where I live, and down to Westchester and Yonkers. And it was about an hour-and-a-half commute each way. There were points that I would have to pull over and sleep on my way home to make it home. I was that debilitated, and I was young. I was in my early 30s. It got to the point where my speech was affected. I would go into a store, not remember what I was doing, had no idea why I was even there. It was scary. Autoimmune disease, uncontrolled, can be horrifying. I literally thought I was losing my mind. P.S. Found a great doctor in Manhattan who really started to regulate me well. And he did scans. They tried to do biopsies. They couldn't get biopsies. They ended up removing my thyroid because it was so scarred, because that process of your body attacking yourself, it was just destroying my thyroid. So our best option at the time was to remove it. With thyroid disease, you have, especially low thyroid, hypothyroid, which is Hashimoto's thyroiditis, you have a very difficult time losing weight and regulating your hormones and energy levels and things. When you think about it, your thyroid gland, this small gland in your neck, controls so many parts of your day-to-day functioning. Cardiac, respiratory, everything. Your endocrine system is completely off kilter. So there were good days and bad days, even after removing my thyroid. There were times where I was like, oh, I felt good. I felt energetic. I always kept pushing on. There was no days where I could just lay in bed. I had 2 children. P.S. Fast forward, I'm 39. My husband passes away. Right before this, the doctor had gotten me under control. I was starting to feel good. But the stress of the events that happened over that 10 months really set my endocrine system and my internal functioning off. For the next 5 years, I was in the worst condition of my life. Because my thyroid was uncontrolled, because any stressors, it's very hard to get that back into control. I had gained a massive amount of weight. I was close to 200 pounds. I was 5'2". I've recently found out I'm only 5'1", shrinkage. Went into menopause at 39, probably due to the underlying endocrine issues. When I was 52, I was, having very low blood pressure, unable to sleep. I had ballooned and the swelling was unbelievable. To look back at photos from now to then, it's mind blowing. And those of you who suffer from endocrine disorders understand what I'm talking about. My hands looked like man hands. They were swollen. You couldn't find my knuckles. Ankles were swollen. I was pretty much young. 50, I know some people will look at 50 and say, oh, that's not very young, but it was. Like, I still had a lot of life to live. So at 52, I came across the profile of who turned out to be my future coach for the same program that I coach to now. It was the beginning of the pandemic. I was kind of forced into not just running around like crazy and, autopiloting through my day. And now I had time to think about where I was in my health status. I had gone to the doctor. My cholesterol was astronomical. They wanted to put me on meds. My hemoglobin A1C was literally pre-diabetic levels. They wanted to put me on meds for that. They wanted to give me anxiety meds because of the shakes and the lack of sleep and just everything. But nobody was really addressing what was actually the cause of it. It was my endocrine system out of whack, again, due to stress. Now it's pandemic, so those internal stressors, anytime, even recently, I'm doing well, but I had a surgery and then I had another follow-up, and the stress from that sent me off again. So it's always going to be there and always going to be something that I have to manage. But when I was 52 and all this happened, pandemic hit, backtracking because I babble, I found program. Within 2 months, I had lost 22 pounds. By 5 months, I lost 64 pounds. I regulated my hormones. I regulated my function by being more conscious and more healthy as to what I put in my body. The way program works and dealing with mindset and triggers helped me greatly. Even though a lot of those triggers were from an underlying disease and an underlying problem, I was able to, for the first time in 24 years, to manage my thyroid levels, where I've been on the same medication dosage since I started program. Well, actually, no, that's a fib. It was a couple months in, they lowered my dose, but I've maintained that now for almost 4 years, which was unheard of. Unheard of. I was, every couple of months, they were jimmying around with my meds and trying to figure me out. I started fueling my body properly, and I am in the best condition of my life. It's insane. So when you think of this, there are so many people out there that suffer from endocrine disorders, whether it's thyroid or Sjogren's, which is another autoimmune disease I have, which is manageable. Sjogren causes dry eyes, dry mucous membranes, and things like that. And it causes a lot of scar tissue and lumps and bumps. That I can deal with. But the internal issues with your thyroid, that was unmanageable. I was not living a life. Now I have to say, I've learned so much about how the body works being a coach for this program. And when I look back at the pictures, I'm actually going to put a couple of before and after pictures in the slide, and you're going to be mind blown. Just the face alone. I had moon face because most of the time I was on prednisone to manage the pain symptoms. I'm not doing that anymore. So there's something to be said about fueling your body properly, getting rid of the processed foods and the high sodium counts and things like that. It makes your body run better. You put good fuel in a car, it runs better. You put junk and nonsense in, any problems that car has that are underlying are going to be magnified, just like the human body. So I really want to let you know there are options out there. Don't feel lost. Don't feel hopeless. Don't think that that's how you have to live your life if you're suffering with autoimmune disease. I am true testament to the fact that you can change the trajectory of your health by doing a program like I offer. If you ever have any questions or you want to hear a little bit more, just hit the links below, send me a message. I do offer a free health assessment, and it's also in the link. It's in my link tray. If you want to touch base, figure out what you can do to take back your health. And my focus this month is really going to be getting out there and helping other women and men with autoimmune disease. Us autoimmune warriors have to stick together. And if there are answers out there, we don't have to just keep floating on like we're feeling. We can take it back and we can do something about it. So if you ever have any questions, again, hit the link, send me a message. All of my socials are down in the caption. And also share this with people that you know that could benefit just from a conversation. Even if they never do program, if they want to talk about it, I'm here to talk about it. All right, everyone. Happy June, by the way. Enjoy your summer, and we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.